looking at it walking? I know you did the tour yesterday.
Yep. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Technical, but same for everyone. But yeah, I guess ask me in an hour and I'll have a better answer.
Also, on top of that, do you think it's going to be possible for any passing of any level into that kind of section?
It's probably second best passing zone on the track after turn one, because you really, watching those Xfinity cars, you kind of have to sacrifice the exit to get a good run through bit 6A, they're calling it, whatever, the first part. So you can really dive to the apex to make a pass. So I think it's going to be a really good passing zone.
The tire barrier in that corner, is that a concern at all?
I don't really know, but yeah, I think in racing you're going to see it move a little bit as people clip it, but I don't know. I don't know what else to do there.
Have you given any advice to Connor about his first start in the Cup Series on Sunday?
Yeah, we've done lots of sim time together, and all four of us drivers have been working closely, sharing ideas, and yeah, the way he approaches stuff is a little different, the way he drives, and yeah, and then changing lines, we both sort of learnt a bit, so yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good.
Tell us on Wednesday that he's trying to be friends with you, but it is kind of weird for him because he's so young.
Yeah, I guess so, but you know, we get along really well, but like at the start of the year we spent almost every day together with production days and WeatherTech stuff, and it was really cool. He's a great young kid, and we do get along, but there is a big age. I think I'm pretty much twice his age, but yeah, like the Daytona 24 as well, he was a good little coffee boy for us. It was pretty fun.
I think using that like sort of Joker lane thing instead of going down pit road as a penalty, do you like that solution?
Yeah, I would say so. Just kind of gets it done, and I think it's plenty enough of a penalty for course cut.
Yeah, you still can't like just blow straight through the S's. You still have some sort of penalty enough.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we suffered from that last year inadvertently, right? Like, I think that's the tough thing when you have to start policing that. Like in my situation last year, and I'm sure there were other guys in the same boat, that, I mean, I was going to spin out, if I hadn't have corrected the car and then I ended up off the road. Like I wasn't trying to cut it. It wasn't even close. And I think in that situation, it's just tough because I penalized myself by, almost having a spin. Which sucks, and hated that. But I think just at least it gets it done. It's over. I think it'll be fairly quick, and it'll be the same for everybody.
Chase, there was an article this week that they haven't renewed COTA for upcoming seasons. Do you hope that it stays on the schedule for 26 and beyond, or would you rather it go?
I'm good either way.
Yeah.
I think that this is a great venue. I think it's a good track. I think that the changes that they've made are good for us, good for our cars. Just visually watching the IMSA cars run around, I think that it's going to suit just these heavier cars a little better than the long straightaway, simply because, the F1 stuff this is an F1 style track, just like Mexico City is an F1 style track, right? You have these long straightaways because those cars are designed to have DRS, right? And in order for DRS to come into play, they have to have a long enough straightaway to make it do anything, right? To open up a passing zone. For us, we don't get to that maximum velocity like those guys do. So the draft, like that straightaway would have to be probably 3 times the length of what it is, maybe double for us to see some sort of a slipstream effect without some sort of drag reduction system. So you're kind of just wasting time, right? Like how you exit the whatever corner it was, 11, I guess, was what you had, and it was going to be difficult to get much of a slipstream. So I think the course change potentially would make me want it more, just because I think it's going to suit us better, but I'll probably have a better answer after we go run from that side. But it's a good venue, it's a good area, it's I think it has fit well on our schedule, and I would have no issues coming back here down the road.
So how do you continue that good run, good streak here going into the new section?
Yeah, we've been really fast here. pretty much every year. I feel like we've been in contention at the end of these things. So looking forward to a new challenge with the new layout a little bit. Personally, I wish we would have left it alone, but something new for sure. So excited to get out there, feel it out, and go from there.
How are you feeling about the tire barrier? I believe at 6A.
The one that's marking the corner, like at the apex?
Yeah, it's right at the apex of the inside.
Yeah, it needed something because walking the track, so I walked the track before there was anything there, and you couldn't see the corner. Like, you had no reference point of where the corner was, because you kind of come up over a hill through 6. So, yeah, I think that was the right move. Probably 7 or 8 of us sat with NASCAR for an hour yesterday on kind of what barriers should be where, and yeah, I think that was a good call for sure.
Now, our camera angle that we have comes from corner exit, and it looks like it's right in the middle of your way kind of thing. Is that as aggressive on corner entry as well?
I mean, it's a super narrow corner, right? So when there was nothing there, it's just gravel on the inside, and we all would have jumped through the gravel, and there'd be gravel all over the racetrack on exit there. So certainly needed to be something there.
You noticed the pavement was different there. This kind of low pavement between 6A and 6B. Is that going to play a factor, do you think?
There's a lot of that all over the racetrack, and there has been here for years. They've paved it in sections, and every year I feel like they pave a different section. This year they paved a lot, so that's kind of been every year here. So kind of normal.
Alex, you're one of the rival race car in Miami, which is really cool because LA does a lot of great initiatives, but they're one of the sponsors of that league. What's it like to collaborate with that league and introduce those fans to NASCAR?
Yeah, that was cool. I got to go down there and go to a game. I guess a couple of the games because they play a couple games a night, but cool atmosphere, cool experience, and excited to get their car on the racetrack.
Have you let Brianna start behind the wheel?
Not yet. I think she might have driven the pace car, or at least gotten some rides in Homestead before the game. So, yeah, it was kind of a messed up travel day trying to get down there for us. I tried to meet them all at the racetrack, and airspace was closed, and it was kind of a mess. But yeah, it was really cool to get to go down there and do that.
We talk a lot about drivers wanting to show their personalities more. I know NASCAR is trying to push the drivers to do more appearances, whether you guys like it or not. But with Hendrick, you guys do a great job with the social media memes and all. What's it like to showcase those personalities and show folks you're not just all business?
Well, I feel like we're all business, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think certainly it's fun, right? Like when you can do things that are fun for you, and appearances kind of sync up with what you're into. Obviously, like getting to take Harvick around in a drift car and stuff like that has been really fun. So yeah, it can be super fun for sure.
Phoenix and Las Vegas are coming up. Those are obviously very important tracks at the end of the season. So how do you approach them the next couple weeks, and how does Hendrick approach these coming races?
Yeah, Vegas, we've been really strong, right? Like we had a shot to win there in the fall, so just excited to get there, kind of knowing that we should be really fast and have a shot to win again. And then Phoenix, we've just, the 48 car in general, we've just really struggled there for a couple of years. And, in the in the fall last year, we tried something completely different than our teammates did. Just trying to, I feel like as a company, need to be better there. So hopefully learn some stuff from that. Obviously we weren't amazing, but at the same time, just trying different things, trying to learn. So, yeah, hopefully we're better there, because obviously we have some work to do to try to contend to win that race in the fall.
Of course, you're a threat to win here on the weekend, but with guys like SVG and Allmendinger back in the Cup field playing for a playoff win, how dangerous do you view them?
Yeah, I mean, they're always fast here, right? Like, I've spent a lot of time racing around those guys here. They're definitely, quick. I feel like I have a couple more races here than SVG does at least, so that's a good thing for me. But yeah, they're super talented race car drivers, and you know that will be fast when you go to any road course.
Now that we've seen in real time, is starting the season with super speedway road course something you're a fan of, or do you wish it would be different?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Kind of, we'll do whatever we're told, right? Like, yeah. Everybody, like, there's pluses and minuses to it all. Obviously, we had a good day in Daytona, not a great day in Atlanta, but yeah, it's just part of what we do, and just try to approach every week, try to maximize everything we've got.
Thank you.
They were going to put barriers, I think, in the S's or something at first, and then now they're not there. Are you guys happier that they're not, or were you going to be okay if they were?
We talked about it a little bit when we got there. Alejandro was kind of showing us I'm sorry.
I meant here.
Oh, here. In the S's, they had those like big 400-pound barriers, and I don't think most of the drivers really like that. Really just for the fact of, hey, if you go in there side by side and you kind of get forced into one, you're going to just destroy your race car. So I think it was probably right the way they did it. I don't think barriers there in that high-speed spot is the answer. So it was nice they kind of pulled back on that a little bit, just because I could see some big carnage going on there. And when you're following someone through there, it's hard to see, so like if they're 2 inches from it and you offset, 6 inches, you're smoking that thing. So hopefully they're just really, watching the limits, stuff like that. I think the little joker lane, I guess you can call it, that they got going is probably a good idea. I thought the penalty making a pass through pit road was maybe a little bit harsh. That's a lot of time lost, so I think that other lane is going to be a little bit better as far as a fair penalty for that. So, I was happy they took those barriers out, because that could have been big trouble.
So far, you're still young, but you're like, man, you're making some great cases to be one of the best drivers in the series.
I can't say I think of it that way. I just go live every day. I don't look back at much right now in my career and say I've done enough, or I just want to go win the next race, and I keep it that simple. Maybe post-career I'd look back and say some different things, but right now it's just about the next race.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I think there's no better guy to ask than somebody that just won a championship, and with all the talk and changing the playoff format, with, hey, Joey had some struggles early, but, when y'all came into the playoffs, there's no better team than you guys and the 12, Penske as a whole. What would that look like to you? What would you like to see going forward, or you don't care? Just give me the format and we're going to do the thing.
I mean, on one hand, I'd say give me the format, we're going to do it. We'll figure out how to win then. But on the other hand, I look at it as just a race fan, and I think it's pretty freaking good what we got. Right? No one really complained about it until they see someone they don't want to win. Right? Like, there's real advantages to running well in the regular season, just like there is in playing well in the regular season in the NFL or the NBA or whatever it may be. There's true advantages that are earned. You still got to show up in the playoffs, though. That doesn't mean it's a guarantee. And I think our format does that. I don't understand it at all. And I know my perspective, people are going to think is skewed because of that we won, but I don't see it that way. And I just don't understand why we would change it. Honestly, the only thing I would change is that I don't think a car outside the top 20-something in points should get locked in by just a win. Right? That doesn't seem right. Right? I mean, I don't think a car that's running 30th in points and wins a race should be locked into the playoffs. Is that really a playoff team? Nah.
What if they wrecked 3 guys to get the win?
Yeah, was. You know what I'm saying. So, I mean, I think that's the one thing I would change, which is just going back to what it used to be, actually. Right. Because we used to have that rule. So I would just go back to that personally.
So kind of off that, like SVG, AJ, like they're among the favorites this week. Does that make them more dangerous because they could get a win?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're obviously strong in it, and there's a lot of, the decision making for race teams. You got to look at where can they win, right, to get into the playoffs. And you look at Shane, you look at AJ, you look at some of these guys. I mean, and they're well-rounded race car drivers that can win at other ones, but they have a true advantage when they come to these racetracks because they're just good, just really good, and they have a good chance of winning and locking themselves into the playoffs. And they'd be deserving of it. But I also think you should be in the top 20-something in points, top of that. It's my opinion, over the regular season. But outside of that, I wouldn't change it for anything.
And no disrespect to anybody, right? Everybody's out here trying to get a win, but it's the same thing at Daytona right before the playoffs. A gamble, get Harrison Burton in. Right. Could it be arguable that he's on that line too? Just the same.
100%. Oh, I'd agree. I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Is this a place you'd like to see back on the schedule in 2026, given that this is the last year of the current contracts?
it probably hasn't been my best racetrack, selfishly. But I mean, it doesn't take away from the facility. I can look at this media center; it's incredible. It's a beautiful place. Kind of be a shame not to show up here. But I mean, look at the stuff they're built. I don't know if they're building some theme park out there or something. Right. It looks like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful place. So it kind of be a shame not to come here. But I'm also a fan of change. I'm a big fan of change. I'm a fan of changing up things in our sport. Whether it's the new track layout here we see or going to new racetracks, I think that's just good. It's always been good for our sport when we change stuff.
And speaking of change, have you been able to thoroughly look at 6A and the big roadblock
I
there?
I walked it.
Yeah.
That's as thorough as it's been so far.
Also,
probably the same as what you guys did earlier too.
Speaking of change, next week's tire. Obviously, Penske's been so good at Phoenix. Are you worried that that's going to upset, what has made you guys so good?
No. I mean, I don't know. I think it's more than just a tire. Right? The tires changed over the years, and I feel like our cars have been faster. It introduces a lot of strategy options, obviously, just like we saw at Richmond with the tire. I kind of like the option tire thing, and I know the ultimate goal with this is a kind of a soft entry into what this could be for the fall. But yeah, I mean, good. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Also, to your take on this, like obviously with the new course, AJ and SVG, guys like that are probably going to be listed as a favorite. But now that they're like full time in the series, how much more dangerous does that make them to potentially get a win?
I don't know. It could potentially make them less dangerous, I feel like, because they'll be more conscious of points. But also at the same time, I think they do have to take more advantage of winning a road course, so maybe it's more dangerous depending on. I don't know what their mindset is, but honestly, it probably doesn't matter. They're really good anyways, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited to get out there. I feel like you'll have a good run this weekend.
Did you do the track walk?
Yeah, I did it yesterday and then today because they changed a couple areas. So yeah, it was nice.
How challenging do you anticipate that being? 6A, 6B?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think for me, selfishly, I feel like the old, like the area that we got rid of, like that was a difficult area for me in years past. I feel like that's where I lost the majority of my time. So yeah, selfishly, I feel like I like it better. But we'll see. Once we get on track, maybe it won't suit me.
Yep. How much of a curveball will the new tire throw into the preparing for this race?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. We don't really have experience on it here. We do at Watkins Glen, but even Watkins Glen didn't feel like crazy different to me, but than normal. So we'll see. But yeah, just try to learn as much as we can here in this couple practices.
You finished runner-up in the inaugural race here, but in the next gen you haven't finished better than 14th. Is there something, at least on this track in particular, that you guys feel like you might be missing?
I don't know. I think just more for me, probably. I think that's been where I've struggled, I guess. I feel like our car last year especially was good. We just I think Bell spun us out early, and then we were just kind of off sequence after that, where we had good car speed, but just the strategy didn't play out right for us after we spun. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like road courses, like the more corners they have, the worse I am. So I'm happy to cut a lot of corners off.
Picasso, it changes a little bit as you go into the exit of 6A. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think that I told them maybe on Wednesday or Thursday just that I felt like the adjustments to the track were good, and there is a big bump in the new section, so just figuring that out. And but yeah, I don't think really like the track changes are super concerning or anything to me.
The Vivid EV Anthem is the essence of American spirit. Made with lithium battery technology, this neighborhood electric vehicle features vibrant colors, diamond stitch seats, and seats up to 6. It isn't just made in America, it's made for America.
Steven Stumpf of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.